Well, good evening, all. Ira Epstein with your financial market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for the evening of May 15th, Monday, 2023, 7 p.m. Central Time. So it just came out that tomorrow there will be the talk. They gave a time again for the Biden, McCarthy, and the other congressional leaders in the room talk. It'll be 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central, after the markets close. I'm writing up a whole scenario tonight and have done it for my traders as to what I see. I'm not going to give you all the different reasons why, but I'm predicting they will reach the idea of an extension. Now, what they do about bills during the extension is where I see the nitty-gritty. All you had to do was see Mr. McCarthy say today, after Leo Brainerd came out, that's the new economic advisory person, after she said, no, headway's being made. Well, she's right. The sides are talking. What she's wrong about is the substance of the headway. And McCarthy, Speaker of the House, told you all the big issues are not resolved, not even close. Code word, either an extension or you go into debt default. What pushed Biden today? His Secretary of the Treasury, Yellen, came out and said that, folks, we cannot make it past June 1st. She wrote a letter to Congress that the Treasury doesn't have the funds to pay the bills beyond June 1st. Whether it's bluff, whether it's slightly later than that, doesn't matter. It corners the president. Now, is Joe going to hop on a plane and go to the G7 meeting while all this is going on? If he does, might as well kiss his Canada, say goodbye. It doesn't take a genius to say, I'll run ads all the time. What does Joe do in a time of crisis? He picks up and runs away from America so he can go and say to people how great we are. Every one of those leaders could care less if he's there. They want the debt ceiling issue covered. That's reality of the situation. Okay. We'll get to oil, and I'll give you another piece, so stay tuned here because I have more to say. In the S&P on a weekly basis, well, the market's up a little bit, 0.18%, but traders are scared. I mean, there you go. I happen to think if they say extension, then I want to know the terms, obviously, because the devil's always in the detail. How are we going to pay bills during it, and how long's the extension? Is it going to September, the end of the fiscal year? Is it going to July? Make everybody come back and settle things? I don't know. It's not going to be easy. And you could see how the markets all of a sudden just narrowed in all the trading. If you don't see that, I don't know how to explain it anymore. I see absolutely nothing here. I see a danger market both ways. You would think that if they hit the extension, it's a bit friendly, the market. Some traders may take a non-extension with certain caveats. The money's very limited. They can't go. We're going to be here in 30 days. I have been through this rodeo. They get resolved. It's that simple. I've not seen the U.S. go into a default situation. Doesn't mean it can't happen. If it does, I think it's the presidency again. I think it's gone for Joe. As I look at them, I would vote that way as an American. If I were a hardcore Democrat, I'd vote against him if he puts us in default. As you can see, just going sideways here, you can see what's going there. Okay, so what do the American people want? They want resolution. They have enough problems. That's what they want. When you look at the mini NASDAQ, higher lows, higher highs, embedded. So why? Why is this so strong? Artificial intelligence. So what this market is all about are two elements. Number one, AI, the new darlings coming on board. Number two, interest rates, as long as the debt ceiling issue gets resolved, have likely seen their peaks, and that helps tech companies. They're very capital intensive, and the cost of that capital, take it down, it's helpful. You're not seeing that in industrial companies, and that's why it is called the industrial average. They're going the other way with it. Did anybody bother to look today at the New York Empire Index and see what's taking place? The worst reading in 20 years. So manufacturing that's going on there, crashing. The word isn't it pulled back. There is no other word for this drop other than it crashed in that region. Very important. When we look at the Russell, I don't know. I don't see anything. I got a higher high, lower low, nothing going on there. In the bonds, you're at support. The reason the market likely slipped back here is what if we go into the default? What happens? Well, two things. Number one, everybody's going to want to own. I know that sounds crazy when I'm going to say this. U.S. debt. We're the strongest of then a really bad world. A terrible world, but that's what we would be. But number two, you're putting pressure. Hey, you want to buy our instruments? Got to pay up. Got to give me more yield. That's what's happening. So in order to sell it, you got to give more yield. 5-year note, you're back to neutrality, the 18-day average of closes. Dollar, I think you peaked out Thursday and Friday. If we get an extension that can handle the payment of the debt, I think a lot of this premium comes out of the dollar index and the Japanese yen. And in the euro, I think you'll see some buying, as the market should have seen massive short covering, I think at least, between the 100-day average and the lower Bollinger Band. In the British pound, you're back to neutral. The market had the interest rate hike, but we know their economy's in shambles practically. I mean, the cost of food and dining in Europe is insane. One of my closest friends got back Saturday from Argentina, who he says, and he travels the world all the time, he'd rather live there than in Europe. Believe it or not, the city's so beautiful. But he said, wow, is the food inexpensive. And they eat well and they drink well. He said, Ira, we had trouble spending $75 a person. Great meals, great wines, loved it beyond imagination, okay? Compare that to the U.S. where they'll spend $75, $100 on a bottle of wine, like without even thinking about it. That included their wines. Higher highs, lower lows, that's where you're at there. In Bitcoin, and by the way, they were telling me luxury goods in Argentina, the prices stay just like the American dollar. So don't think you're running there for big deals. They went into the different stores and they said, oh no, that is not what's going on. The big national chains, LVMH and all the others, Cartier, prices are based on dollar here. Lower highs, lower lows. Brent WTI crude, well, the differential, you can see 340 was too cheap, now you're at 4. Now, what was I going to say here? You're still in a downtrend. We got another promise today. So the energy director, Secretary of Energy, came out and what she said today was, give us bids we want to take and buy 3 million barrels for August 31st delivery. She named the Texas area for the storage, and they're ready to buy. Okay. The problem is they're $7 late. Yes, you were down to 64. You're back to 71. You can see what happened here. And it's like saying, hey, I'm ready to buy, but you got to drop your prices. Maybe it'll get to it. If it does, and if they actually buy, and if they put out tenders for more, we're on to something. Then we're looking at areas that might be very important, and maybe the worst of the oil break is behind us. I have zero faith that she knows how to tell the truth, or that the administration does. I am not political here. I am calling liars liars. Can I be any clearer? We're going to buy in October. We're in March. We're ready at these numbers. No, we can't buy. Why can't we buy? Oh, we have maintenance. And when is the maintenance going to happen? It won't be done until December. Today, give me your bids. That's March, and here I am in May. And if you think I can believe that, okay. I can believe anything. I can say to people, hey, I thought I could do that. I can't do it. I get it. You can't lie to the public and then keep coming in and saying, believe me, I'm good. It doesn't work. You're as good as your word, which is no good. Lower highs, lower lows. We'll see where the market goes with that. In gasoline, this is what I thought was going to happen when you lost the embedded reading. You'd get up to the 18-day average and give a stall, but you're at the peak driving day coming up, and this is all you can do. Not impressed. And I said that. I said that there's too much now at work. So the idea that you're going to get that monster rally for the summer, I don't see it. I'd like to be wrong, but I'm not seeing it on the chart. Where I am seeing a bottom form is nat gas. And I'm starting to read that in the Appalachians, how they're drilling even more wells, but you're a third less in the production out of them. Important. Now, are we going to hit record production in the U.S. in May? They say we are. So we're going to jump over, and for June, they're predicting a couple of 100 feet a day more of gas than you did, and you just set a record. Okay, but I think the market's built all this in. So now the question is, what goes on? The chart action itself is starting to look better. It certainly looks like a bottom, but not yet ready, from my opinion, to be a buyer. So, you know, what I like to talk about in my morning videos, and that's exactly where I do all my work, is tell you buy here, sell there, here's why, show you the picture of the daily chart, show at times weekly charts, come together, here's the dollar risk of the trade, here's where it makes sense on these 5 different parts of technical analysis. I'll cover window envelopes, moving averages, slow stochastics, Bollinger Bands with you. And I missed one through there, forgot what the 5th is, but there are 5 indicators, swing lines. And I will put that all together and show you why the trade comes in. I'm going to be wrong. I'm going to be right. I'm hopefully more right than wrong. And certainly money management does come into everything that I do, including even trades that are momentum trades. There is a way in and out. They just have bigger dollar risks. That's all. But they typically last longer, and that's what you look for on momentum. How do you get this and how do you see it all? Just go to our website under the word research, morning subscriber video. You can click up here to get there as well. I'm Ira Epstein. You have a great day. I will see you tomorrow.